Hello and welcome to today's edition of People in the News. My name is Theophilus Ilama, your regular host on the program. Today we have quite a lot for your viewing pleasure. So like I always like to say, just sit back, relax and enjoy this ride. Our first story is about the life and times of Deaconess Margaret Oyeronke Alao. Family and friends gathered to celebrate her life, her legacy, and all she stood for.
The Bible tells us,
in the ancient and sacred land of Orile-Igbon, Oyo State, a mother, a matriarch, and a pillar of faith was buried. Deaconess Margaret Oyeronke Alao, the beloved mother of His Royal Majesty, Oba Francis Olushola Alao, was a guiding light, a nurturer, and a beacon of unwavering strength. Family, friends, and dignitaries from all walks of life gathered not to mourn, but to celebrate a life well lived.
Mama Deaconess Margaret Oyeronke Alao. She was born November 1943 and she was called home November 2024. From accounts, God called her home 9 days before her birthday.
In a moment of reflection, Governor Dapo Abiodun of Ogun State and other respected figures took turns to honor her legacy, speaking of the values she instilled in her children and the countless lives she touched.
Mama's upbringing was a very humble one. She immediately took after her mother, who was a textile trader. So Mama herself, in her early years, became an entrepreneur. She began to trade between Ghana and Nigeria in fabrics and in textile. Mama was as caring for her biological children as she was caring for even those who are not her biological children. She was an all-rounder. Mama, without a doubt, lived a life of impact. She impacted the lives of many in her community. Mama was God-serving, she was God-loving, she was God-fearing. Mama, till she breathed her last, remained a prayerful woman.
I have seen many things in the world, and I've seen many corpses, but I've never seen a corpse that clenches his fist. When the man dies or woman dies, you can be sure that they open their hands. They open their hands because they say, naked I came, naked I'm going, I'm not taking anything with me.
As the church service came to a close, the atmosphere transformed from solemn remembrance to a joyous celebration of her impactful life. The reception was grand, filled with laughter, memories, and a deep sense of gratitude. Madam Margaret Alao's legacy was not just remembered, it was honored with song, dance, and a deep-rooted appreciation for the life she lived.
I feel great and elated. The grace of God and mercy has brought us this far. My mother really contributed greatly to my enthronement as a king, and I felt that she was a royalty before her death, and through that I was able to get to the throne. So I just felt that I need to celebrate this life well spent by this wonderful woman. So that's why I'm here today, and I thank God for the grace, and I thank God for the enablement. I thank God for what God has done in my life, in the life of my wife, in the life of my children, and the entire Alao family. So the grace of God has brought us this far. We thank God. Mama, in her lifetime, she was very prayerful, and you know that prayer is the key to anything one aspires in life. She prayed well for us, and she always looked for us for good. So on that note, that's why I'm celebrating Mama today.
every first day of the month. I know she would have prayer overnight, and the first person she would call immediately she finishes is me, to pray for me, to wish me well, and to also tell me that whatever happens, we should always remember her for good. She's a very prayerful woman, and then she loved my children to heaven and back. She always says that they remind her of her late husband, that I should look at the gap tooth, that is a blessing, that the late husband just wants her to know that he still cares. That's why he brought them. She would at the same time always say, if you need anything, let me.
And then the legend himself, King Sunny Ade, took the stage. The air exploded with energy as the Juju maestro filled the room with his timeless melodies. And in that moment, grief gave way to gratitude. Sorrow turned into celebration. As tributes poured in from across the nation, leaders and dignitaries spoke of the life of Dickness Margaret Alao and the lessons she left behind.
It's just to tell Kabiyesi, now he is a man. When Mama don't go, it's time for him also to step up. But Mama lived a good life, and no matter how old they are, he will still feel it. So we're pacifying him and praying that as they commit the Mama to Bala today, the family have the fortitude to bear the loss and also to be able to move forward.
Away from Zamfara to celebrate with my very good friend Oba over the That's why we're here, and I wish her a very good.
The first thing I want to say is for him to thank God for the grace and the privilege that in Yoruba people always say ki omo rere kolonje ko gbeyin wa. I think he has cause, he has reasons to always appreciate God for having spared his life to really see the hand of his mother, and is giving him a befitting burial today. And again, I want to really wish that everything that he desires in life, that God has given him one of that in his life, for him to be the king in this ancient city, Olugban village, their town. So I think it is something that every one of us as a Yoruba person need to really appreciate God for, and wish him well while in the course of his reign as a king in this place.
As His Royal Majesty Oba Francis Alao and his siblings stood together to say their final earthly goodbye, there was no doubt Dickness Margaret Oyeronke Alao's presence will never fade. She lives on in the love she shared, the values she instilled, and the countless lives she touched. May her gentle soul rest in eternal peace.
Àyíká lé bàbá ẹni lọ́wọ́ ẹni